Welcome back to Magny-Cours, round 3 of the 2010 Lotus Cup Europe, and we have a great race underway with Christophe Legendre busy defending from his Boursier competition teammate Philippe Loup, and looks to the inside here of Legendre, and is he going to go through? No, not quite, as they go on to start another lap. Towards Estoril they come. Many of the corners here at Magny-Cours named after other racing circuits, as Steve Williams almost makes it 3 abreast through the curve, but running wide is Legendre, and Philippe Loup goes through and up into the lead. Steve Williams in the yellow car looking to pounce as well and go up into second position, so the bright orange machine of Philippe Loup leads the way from the similar to 11 of Steve Williams, though he has got Christophe Legendre in the black and firework livery 92 machine. Alongside him then Scott Cruikshank, the red car, just in the background, and then at the rear of the shot we have got Romain Routereau, the pole sitter who had a drive-through penalty in the early stages of this race for a jump start. So leading quartet making their way towards the Nürburgring chicane. Now Philippe Loup has spent most of this weekend really playing tail gunner in third position. Now he's in lead the race and doing what he can to pull away from Christophe Legendre and take outright victory. They go into the 180 hairpin as Scott Cruikshank looks to the inside of Steve Williams, the front of the car just twitching as Cruikshank tries to fabricate an opening. Fortunately, there isn't really one there, as Legendre gets it a bit wrong on the exit of the hairpin. Now can Williams draw alongside and pick his way through? Great dice this, and it's enabling Philippe Loup to pull away at the head of the field. We go in car with Steve Williams as we watch Cruikshank looking to the left, then the right, realising there is no way through as they go through the inner chicane. All 4 wheels across the curve from Cruikshank up to Chateau d'Eau, and up the inside goes Scott Cruikshank, and into the podium positions he goes. Nicely done from Cruikshank, although Williams fights back immediately, getting the switchback working for him as they head down the hill towards Lycée. Plenty of overtaking opportunities here as they try to chase down Christophe Legendre, and Legendre is seeing Philippe Loup become ever more distant as Cruikshank again looks inside Steve Williams. That has enabled Romain Routereau to close right onto their tail, so we've got the race leader Philippe Loup now breaking away from the 4 cars fighting out for second position. You can see them running pretty much line astern along the start of finish straight as looking to the inside of Cruikshank goes Routereau. They nudge and off goes Cruikshank, and Cruikshank goes into the gravel trap. A lurid spin for Scott Cruikshank. Now has he found reverse gear? That car is in a very exposed position. He does, just into the line there of Stefano D'Aste. Scary moment, I would say, for D'Aste, as at the head of the field still we've got Philippe Loup, Steve Williams and Christophe Legendre. A gap now back to Romain Routereau, who may have lost out a little bit, making his way past Scott Cruikshank. Steve Williams defending from Christophe Legendre. Legendre says, OK, I'll just brake a bit later and try to go around the outside. He then cuts very, very tightly across the apex of the Adelaide hairpin. Does that mean he can draw alongside and go past Steve Williams? Yes, it does. Christophe Legendre, brilliantly executed manoeuvre. He moves up into second position. And Legendre really has been one of the quickest drivers here all weekend. Now what can Steve Williams do about staying with the Frenchman? They go into the hairpin once more, and Williams, the car, just a little bit unstable under braking as he is trying to move back in second position, all of which is enabling Romain Routereau to close in their tail. We watch again the Routereau and Cruikshank incident. Well, there was definitely contact between the pair of them. Routereau raises his arm in apology. Scott Cruikshank not too impressed in car with Steve Williams, and yes, robust driving, I think it's fairly safe to say there from Romain Routereau. But regardless of your view of the incident, the outcome is that Routereau is now up into third position because he's picked his way past Steve Williams. So Romain Routereau, great recovery drive as Dennis van den Sarvel leads the production class battle. Gavin Kirby in the silver 95 car just ahead of James Knight, the pink punter, as he enters himself in the silver and pink 99 machine. These two have enjoyed some great battles throughout 2010, both in Lotus Cup Europe and the Lotus on Track Elise Trophy. And here at Magny-Cours, they are having a great tussle as they chase down Dennis van den Sarvel. Well, Philippe Loup has now, unfortunately for him, been deposed by Christophe Legendre, so Legendre goes back in to lead the race. So Legendre goes through past his Boursier competition teammate as Steve Williams in 4th place, just beginning to fade into the distance somewhat. But what has Romain Routereau got left in the locker? He set pole position. He won the first race of the weekend. Can he make it the perfect weekend and claim 2 victories? There he is in the bright red machine in 3rd position as he chases down Philippe Loup and Christophe Legendre just ahead of him. Now Loup and Legendre are busy fighting out amongst themselves. That is going to enable Routereau to work himself onto their tail, as Steve Williams is also still not out of the reckoning just yet in 4th place. Through Imola they go on towards Chateau d'Eau. Nobody quite close enough to make a mover this time round. This time Lysandre in the lead does take the correct line, as do the leading 4 drivers. So they head back down the hill on towards Lycée. This will complete another lap. And Lysandre really looking much more potent today than he did in yesterday's race, as he is attempting to pull away from Philippe Luc. Now what he'd really like Luc to do is keep Romain Routereau at bay for a couple of laps, enabling him to build a sizable enough advantage that Routereau can't close the gap down. But Routereau moves the inside of Philippe Luc as they go into the first turn, and through he goes. This time no contact, and smoothly done by Romain Routereau. So that means that he is now released to chase down Christophe Lysandre. Frustration, I'd imagine, from Philippe Luc, who was leading this race just a couple of moments ago, and he's now possibly going to be demoted into 4th position because he's got Steve Williams right on his tail. Williams in the yellow car, you can see him just tucked in at the rear of the picture, trying to get into the slipstream of the Frenchman as they sprint down to the Adelaide hairpin, which has so often this weekend been the scene of plenty of drama. They're about to lap Jose Vazelin in the yellow 69 car, as Routereau pushing to the limit, the rear of the car sliding on the exit of the hairpin, and Routereau just planting his right foot, finding that there wasn't perhaps as much traction from the tyres as he thought there'd be. He doesn't rotate as he puts the lap on Jose Vazelin. Philippe Luc, is he staying in touch with Romain Routereau? Well, yes he is, but he's not really close enough to challenge him at the same time. So Routereau, I think, probably is now more concerned about trying to close the gap in to the race leader Christophe Lysandre. More dust being kicked up. There's now gravel all the way across this Magny-Cours circuit as they climb up towards Chateau d'Eau. Gavin Kirby looking to the inside of Dennis van den Sarvel, and well, they make contact, and I'm not sure that either of them will go too much further. A bit of damage sustained for both cars. It was optimistic from Gavin Kirby as Christophe Lysandre makes his way through. We've got plenty of dust being kicked up, and that's Glenn Sherwood. Well, he's gone to the beach, not the forest, so Sherwood is going to rejoin the circuit just behind this battle for the lead of the race. So fortunately he recovers actually without impeding leaders at all, which is certainly good for our enjoyment at the very head of the field, as Romain Routereau continues to do what he can to close in on Christophe Lysandre. And Routereau, we can see him checking the mirror there, looking to see if Philippe Luc is on his tail. He's not. They're coming up to the tail of Kai Kederholm, and they're going to put a lap on him, the driver in the invitation class. Through goes Lysandre. Routereau a little bit delayed there as Kederholm moved to the inside of the circuit to make sure he didn't impede the leaders. In the event, it rather had the opposite effect because Routereau was momentarily delayed. It probably cost him 1/10 of a second or two. Doesn't sound like a lot, but given that these Lotus 211s are so evenly matched, it's everything. We go in car with Markus Nikovic, the Austrian driver, in pursuit of the recovering Glenn Sherwood. Really get a fine view of the amount of work these drivers have to put in behind the wheel of these Lotus Cup Europe cars. Working the gear lever there, Nikovic, as he makes his way up to Chateau d'Eau. At the head of the field, Christophe Lysandre has now been comprehensively caught by Romain Routereau. We go into Lycée. Now can Routereau pick his way through? They go through the first right-hander in the Lycée complex, then clattering across the chicane that brings them through to complete the penultimate lap of the race, because there is the official with the last lap finger. So 1 lap to go, and this is going to go all the way to the checker flag, because Romain Routereau is right on the tail of Christophe Lysandre as they make their way on towards Estoril. We've got a couple of slower cars that they may encounter on this lap, although the safety car intervention means that the lappery isn't perhaps quite as pronounced as it was in the first race of the weekend. Routereau taking a very tight line on the exit of Estoril. Now I'm not sure what that's going to do in terms of his top speed along this straight as they run up towards the Adelaide hairpin, where Routereau is right in the slipstream here of Christophe Lysandre. Lysandre already holding the middle of the road. He's going to make Routereau do something very bold up the inside, which Routereau thinks better of. There's been a number of incidents on the Adelaide hairpin this weekend, and Romain Routereau decides discretion is the better part of valour. He has still got 2/3 lap to pick his way past Christophe Lysandre. Philippe Luc has still got Steve Williams behind him, the orange and yellow cars in the rear of the shot. The leaders, as the heat haze shimmers off the surface of this Magny-Cours circuit, jink through the Nürburgring chicane as they then go downhill to the 180-degree hairpin. No way through there, and Romain Routereau, having closed on to tail of Christophe Lysandre, he just looks a little bit hesitant about going for a manoeuvre, because if he's just stuck his nose up the inside, possibly through the hairpin there, he could have fabricated some sort of opportunity. As it is, they climb up the hill onwards to the Imola chicane, then Chateau d'Eau. again, no way through there. Rautaro looks to the inside, but that's not really an overtaking opportunity as the car snaps away from Romain Rautaro. And maybe they've just been better advised to keep his powder dry, because Chateau d'Eau is a potential overtaking opportunity which has now been lost, which means he's just got 2 corners on this lap to go before the checkered flag, as Christophe Legendre leads his teammate Romain Rautaro. We go down the hill to Lycée for the final time, and Legendre again taking the racing line. Rautaro contemplates looking to the inside, but Legendre swoops across, he takes the line. We've just got the final chicane to go, and Christophe Legendre is going to take a superb win here in the Lotus Cup Europe at Magny-Cours. The checkered flag goes out and Legendre wins it. Romain Rautaro takes second. Third place goes the way of Philippe Loup, just holding off Steve Williams on line. Absolutely fantastic race. And Philippe Loup and Steve Williams, you can see how much they enjoyed that, waving to each other, giving each other the thumbs up as they go across the line. So the final classification is that Christophe Legendre is the winner from Romain Rautaro, with Philippe Loup in third, making the Boursier competition lockout of the podium position. Steve Williams, great drive to fourth, and Stefano D'Aste rounding out the top 5. The 211 class once more are the top 3 in the race, with Legendre taking the honours from Rautaro and Loup, with then Olivier Cunat taking the Exige class win from Gregory Rass, and then John Rass going well from the rear of the field. James Knight taking production class honours after the demise of Gavin Kirby, and the invitation class was won by Andreas Holzleitner, with Sebastian Schwertner taking a fine second in class. Lotus Club Italy, the 211 class was won by Gabriele Pieralisi, and then the Exige class went the way of Matteo Castiglione, who we saw driving very well in the early stages of the race. Christophe Legendre stands on the top of the Magny-Cours podium, taking the acclaim of the crowd. A great drive from him.
Christophe, félicitations.
Merci, c'était une course vraiment difficile.
Thank you, I'm very happy. That was the first win in France. I had a lot of problems with my brake and gearbox, so that was a tough fight with Romain. But at the end, I made it, so I'm very happy.
Oui, je suis assez satisfait.
I'm very happy with the race. That was a great race, and finally I had a car that was working well. So, well, a lot of heat today, but finally everything went good so far, so I'm happy.
C'était très bien.
Andreas, another win for you. That's 2 weekends this weekend. Fantastic.
It was fantastic. It was pure pleasure here, staying here. France is a great place to stay, and I think our car enjoyed it too.
Congratulations, well done.
Thanks.
Well, that's it from us here at Magny-Cours. It's been a glorious weekend with incredible temperatures and, of course, plenty of excitement on track. Join us next time where we'll be at Brands Hatch.